It's my delight to welcome in to the studio a man who seems very fascinated by the microphone at the moment. You've seen one of these before, Carl.
Just couldn't see the red light from the. I normally see that where there used to be. I could see my red light on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And now I'm trying to be professional, and I can't see my red light anymore.
You've got
because yours is on at a different time to mine. Because you talk all the time.
No,
obviously.
I can turn mine off. Don't worry. That's what
well.
Let's,
no answer to that.
I'll tell you what, I'll ask you a question and turn my mic off. It'll make you feel better.
I don't think so.
We're here to talk, obviously, Argubian and Pet's perspective. Let's talk teeth. Let's get dental.
Yeah. Do you know, this morning I was doing my job as a dentist, and I thought, what a good thing to talk about, because I had a cat on the table in front of me, and it was having its teeth descaled and polished. And it was just the right time to have it done. In what I mean by that is all it needed was a descale and polish. So we took all the tartar off, we polished it up. Pussycat goes home nice and happy, fresh breath, owner nice and happy. More importantly, because pretty much all of our patients need to be knocked out to have their teeth done. Like some people I know, it must be said, but yeah, you can't do it safely without that. So obviously the shorter the time possible that they're under an anaesthetic, the better for them, the safer for them. And the way to do that is to firstly look after the teeth if you're the owner, and secondly, get them done sooner rather than later, because the longer you leave them, I've seen some sights, is all I can say.
Well, this is the bizarre thing. When we talk about pets, and if you're not a pet owner, or you're not a pet owner currently, you're talking about worming, you're talking about food, you think about all these different things. We rarely ever talk about teeth, because for some strange reason, we all talk about our own dental health and all the wonderful things you can get with toothbrushes and electric toothbrushes and flossing and all this kind of stuff. And we just kind of assume animals just get on with it because...
And they don't.
No, exactly. So
especially if you give them lots of treats and things. If they're on a good quality diet, it is better, because the diet tends, especially if they're on a dry food, it helps. But if you give them a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of the other, they're just like you and I. They need to have their teeth cleaned. And we do actually recommend brushing. And I remember the first time when I was a young vet, which is
a long time ago.
Only 5 or 10 years ago, I think, Alex, something like that. But maybe. When I was a young vet and I first heard of this idea of brushing pets' teeth, we all thought it was the funniest thing ever. And then you read the research and the work came out, and it makes a massive difference. And you get these little finger brushes. They go on the end of your finger. They've got. I can use my hands now, can't I? Because
you're on camera.
Camera
there we go. See,
you get little finger brushes, go on the end of your finger with little bristles on it, and proper pet toothpaste, because you can't use human toothpaste. And if you get them used to it from being a puppy or a kitten, they will let you do it. And you just gently clean them once a day will do, and it makes a big difference. And if you consider the alternative is having to come into us, have a general anaesthetic, and have it all descaled and polished. And unfortunately, a lot of people leave it a bit too late. So then we've got to start pulling them out. And it's better for your pet all right.
So are we just talking about dogs here? Are we talking about dogs, cats,
and
literally
cats.
Any creature
dogs and
with
cats
teeth?
mainly. Dogs and cats mainly, because they're the most common, the most common pets, and they're the most common pets that get little treats. People, if they've got sort of guinea pigs or rabbits or that sort of thing, they tend to be on set specialized diets with not a lot outside the normal. So therefore, that's a natural teeth cleaner. So rabbits who eat lots of greens and carrots and that sort of thing, that helps to clean the teeth as they eat them. Dogs and cats get all sorts of cheesy word.
Yeah, we'll move on from that.
You know the word I was saying.
I know exactly what you're going to say. Now, you mentioned there that if you can get them used to this young with these sort of like toothbrushes, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Let's talk to maybe dogs and cats owners who've had their animals for a while, and they're at that stage where actually they're not going to be used to me sticking my finger into their teeth. What can they do? Because I can imagine you could be putting yourself a bit at risk if you suddenly stuck your fingers in them.
I think you've got to be aware of your pet, and most people will. You're turning the light off now just to make a point, aren't you? You're just doing that just to make a point.
I'm turning the lights off on the microphone just to make a point for you. There we go.
That's good. As long as I know that's all it is. You should know your pet, and you should know how safe it is to put your finger in your pet's mouth, I would hope. And I wouldn't recommend anyone doing it unless they're completely comfortable with their pet and they know their pet will allow them to do it. The next best thing is there are certain treats you can get. Have a chat with your vet or your vet nurse, and they will talk to you about certain treats you can get so that when they eat them, most dog foods and cat foods, when you chew them, they break apart. We're talking dry food, obviously, they break apart quite quickly. There are certain dental foods that when you bite on them, they take a lot of biting before they crack in half. So the tooth goes a lot further down and then it breaks. So as it's doing that, it's scraping the tartar off as it goes in.
Are there any human versions of that? I very rarely go to the dentist and come away and say, I'll tell you what, you can have some sweets that will clean your teeth for you.
I'll bring some from the practice the next time you can try them. They're probably meaty flavour. They'll be fine.
They'll be fine.
Be all right. And after that, there's actually there's a liquid you can get that you add to the water. So like a little cupful or capful, you add to the water and it helps soften up and loosen the tartar. There's a point beyond which that ain't going to work, but certainly early on when you're just getting tartar, so that's all the brown stuff you see in the teeth. Early on, that can work just to keep it at bay.
So there we go. If people want to find out more information, come and see you about either the little toothbrushes, if they've got a young pet, or some of these treats and any general advice on their pets, give me all the contact details and stuff.
You'll get us on 622 259 in Onken and 812208 in Ramsey. We're on Facebook, like everybody else, so just search for Argbead on Facebook and www.iomvet.co.uk.
Before you go, just want to practice what you preach. Look into the camera and smile. Let's have a look. How white are those teeth?
They're awful.
They're not too bad. No, there's no big yellow bits in there.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, as always.
I got the descaler out before I came down.
Sandpaper.